Today, on Early Morning Show, property abduction. Is she stealing your hard-earned cash? Let's cue the rooster and get this show started.
Every time I need this shit, devil make another.
Hey man, if you got something that you believe in and you believe that you can do it and nobody else do, just go for it. It's your life.
My life is moving fast, I gotta slow it down. Yeah, now I got it, they all come around. But when I ain't have it, they nowhere to be found. Yeah, I had to stick with the ones who stay down. And now a lot of people say I changed on them, because I'm whipping in the range on them. I don't think I'm acting different, I just found out that these folks ain't in my interest. Got a lot of kicking.
Good morning and welcome to the Early Morning Show. Before I go any further, make sure you smash that like button, share this video with a friend, and subscribe to the channel. I thank you. So, today's juicy topic is a new term I have coined for women who think that the property of men belongs to them by default. And that term is property abduction. Property abduction. Property abduction is when a woman steals your hard-earned cash or property without your express permission. There are an enormous amount of men globally who mistakenly feel that they can trust a woman enough to leave their wallet lying around only to have this chick steal everything in their life that is not nailed down. And she doesn't do this by walking up to him with a gun. No, it would be too easy to see that woman coming a half mile away. You would stop her. This chick is smoother than a snake in the Garden of Eden at the man's trust and convincing him she would never do such things. Oh, not me, I wouldn't do that, I love you. But in actuality, this chick has designs on your possessions long before you cross the room to meet her halfway. She will empty your bank account to the very last penny, take your house, your car, as if it were hers. And these are the married ones. The single, married, and dating women alike come with nothing, but they leave with everything. In essence, men see women as sexually attractive, and yes, women see men as financially attractive. In America, as well as most foreign countries, this is typically the largest wealth transfer that occurs annually, and not corporate financial trades as many would believe. The trading of one man's money to another woman's pocket. So if you are dating this woman or letting her live in your place for a time to establish a degree of trust, you may have already lost your last fucking mind. You see, men trust women differently than they lend their trust to their own fellow man. This same man that would surrender his sanity to a woman within a short meeting would never meet a guy one day, and by the end of that week, give this guy his house keys, his car keys, and his ATM card with the PIN number. But this is precisely what we do for women just because we sleep with them. Even women are not as trusting of another woman as men are of women. A woman could be friends with another woman for her whole life and never expect to get that woman her keys to her house, the keys to her car, and a bank account with ATM card. Forget it. So you see, we treat women differently than even women treat one another. And this is not just on a personal basis. Society typically rushes in to protect women that have stolen money from men as if it was something she was entitled to for giving her sweet time to this one guy. When it comes to women, society, to include both men and women alike, don't call a spade a spade. In other words, they don't call a thief a thief. Now check out these following actual stories of women who took advantage of people's trust to enrich their own personal pockets. A one Miss Shannon Secco, age 33, of Herkimer, New York, was sentenced to 18 months in federal prison for her guilty plea to conspiracy to steal government funds and bank fraud. Now, her sentence was imposed following a guilty plea in which Secco admitted that she conspired from the year 2009 to 2013 with her mother, Tammy Sterling, to steal the Social Security benefits paid to a deceased man whose death was unknown to Social Security Administration. Now, this gentleman's horrific human remains were discovered in an advanced state of decomposition inside a dog crate, people. That's right, I said it, a dog crate behind an unoccupied house owned by Tammy Sterling, which is Secco's mother, and her co-conspirator in this crime, I might say. So following the death of this particular man, the mother and daughter duo didn't notify authorities. No, Both women used this man's checking account to steal his Social Security retirement benefits that were deposited into his account each month on time automatically. Now, these women wrote hundreds of checks from the man's checking account until the payment stopped in May of 2013, which is 4 years after the crime began. The only way the two were discovered was after the man's skeletonized remains were found and reported to Little Falls Police Department. Now, thereafter, an investigation conducted by the New York State Police and the Social Security Administration Office, and Inspector General, determined that the Social Security retirement payments paid to the man's checking account following his death were stolen by the two women. Wonder of wonders. For the ladies who don't steal, that's a big thief. So during the sentencing for the thieving duo, the women who ordered to serve a 3-year term of supervised release following completion of their prison sentence, and ordered to pay the restitution to the U.S. Social Security Administration in the amount of $110,000, $910. That's a lot of money. Now, our second and final sugar and spice and everything nice story comes to us from Halifax, England. Here, a woman is faced with fraud charges after a man's debit card was stolen and his bank account was empty in Halifax. She emptied his bank account. Now, the 23-year-old man contacted police after noticing his debit card missing and money missing from his personal bank account. So further investigation revealed that the victim was in downtown Halifax in the early morning hours of May 22nd, when he was approached by a woman who said she was homeless and hungry. Uh-oh, here comes the rescue. Now, the man who was the victim in this case used his ATM machine to get the cash. Then he went to a woman with a nearby restaurant, and he bought her a meal. While at the restaurant, the woman stole the victim's debit card and later used it to empty his bank account. Thank you for helping me. Investigators arrested 52-year-old Diane Christine Kennedy of Halifax. Ms. Kennedy was held in custody overnight and was scheduled to appear in Halifax Provincial Court to face charges of theft under $5,000, possession of stolen property under $5,000, and fraud under $5,000. It turns out that the 52-year-old Halifax woman was only pretending to be homeless before swiping a man's debit card and emptying his bank account of everything he had. Now, her record shows that she has racked up more than 100 similar prior charges of theft from men while playing Mrs. Innocent. So for the early morning show, this is Charles Rivers. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and we hope to see you again now. So, let's cut to the closing credits.
Living in my own world. 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 Oh, state of mind. California dreaming. State of mind. California scheming. Oh, state of mind. California is the reason. For this golden state of mind. State of mind. California dreaming. California scheming. California is the reason. For this golden state of mind. Open mind and you'll find what you've been missing. Please don't waste my time and never try to tell me different. There I go again, ignoring my own advice. But take my word for it, man, I've been living nice. Like the bottom of some skis on a January morning. Up in Aspen sipping cocoa, I prefer my women foreign. Don't disturb me if I'm snoring, let me be. Cause you gotta get your rest to be a king. I would not expand your mind, girl, you too fine not to. Don't let me leave with someone that is not you.